Hey, what's going on, guys? In this video I'm going to talk about putting the new bull barrel in my AR-15. In this picture it's the factory 18-inch from Palmetto State Armory. So I took it to my gunsmith. The only thing I didn't like about the barrel that I got is that it wasn't threaded. So fortunately, knowing a gunsmith, he can help me get it threaded. Now this thing starts off with a pretty heavy profile, so it took a little bit of cutting to get this thing trimmed down. Now I definitely got to give a shout out to my buddy Eagle Eye Shooting. Please check out his channel. He does long range shooting and he actually has this exact same barrel that he's worked up some loads with. So I'm excited to see how they compare and what we can do to make them to improve our groups. Here we've cut down the barrel and we're prepped for threads. He left a relief cut on the back side of those threads so the threads have a place to end. So here's a first of the couple passes we did. You can see that it's got a very fine tip on that cutter. This is what he uses for cutting threads. Always cool to watch. I really enjoy gunsmithing. I would really like to get into it at some point. And this lathe is very cool. If you start right on that number, it will cut your threads in the same place every time. That's pretty standard among lathes. That's how you keep track of when to start cutting threads. Here's another view. Now that barrel looks like it's not centered, but it is. What it is where it started the thread, it's not even. So you can see the shiny part on my upper right there, and that's where we've actually trued the upper in a former video. Barrel slides right in, got the muzzle brake on there. Now unfortunately my factory gas block from the Palmetto did not fit the bigger barrel, so I had to go to the store and pick one up. Alright, here we are a few days later. I just went down to a local gun store, Cold Front Firearms, and I picked up a .875 gas block. Because of this big bull barrel on this 223 Wild, I needed a big fat gas block. The one off my Palmetto State Armory didn't work, so let's see if this thing works out. Just dump it on there, nice and snug. Perfect. So this has got a rifle length gas tube. This is the factory gas tube off the Palmetto State Armory. We can see here that it's got one pinhole and then nothing on the top, so this is the side we need down. And then it's got two drilled through each side, two pinholes right there to where the roll pin holds it in. Now, gas tubes have a curve to them. You see that bend? So that's going to tell me which side is up. So it's really kind of hard to get this incorrect. So let's slip this in, slide that guy on. Maybe. Okay, to set this roll pin, this thing's a little bit oblong shape, so what I did is I put my thumb inside here and kind of trapped it down in this corner, and I started tapping the little roll pin in there. So once I got it started, I had to flip it around this way and position it up against my press like that, and then continue tapping it all the way in with the hammer. So my roll pin's set, got the gas tube in place, and we're ready to rock and roll. You got to make sure that there's room for the gas tube to slide in here. So let's get this thing set up on here. And you notice this little tiny lip right there, and that's what gives this gas block a good seal. So we gotta get gas tube lined up correctly. My gas tube was hung up on the upper for a second. So now I'm just gonna slide it on back. We gotta pay attention to where that gas port is and make sure that this is perfectly vertical. Slide it on back, and there's my low profile gas block. Got my rifle length gas system all into the upper. And then we gotta tighten up our little set screws down here. I should be ready to go. Then I'll slip the handguard back on. This barrel actually had a little dimple that this Allen screw fit into. So this one went a little bit further in than it's further than this one did. But both are tight. Let's make sure that they are good and tight. That one turned about 1/8 of a turn. And I already snugged this one down. I'm pretty sure we're going to be good. No, that one snugged up as well. So hopefully this should work. If my gun doesn't run, that's going to be the first thing that I check. I'm pretty sure that this would be crooked.
223 Wild 1-8 5R rifling stainless steel. Hopefully it's a shooter.
Alright guys, got my Midwest Industries Keymod rail, 15-inch. This is what came on my Palmetto State. It fits the barrel nut perfect, so let's slip this thing on here and see if everything goes well. Notice me rubbing quite a bit, but it's kind of a tight fit with this bull barrel and gas block now. Let's get the lines lined up. Let's loosen the rifle. Tilt it on its side. This Midwest is super simple. It's just got two little Allen heads right here. There we go. Upper is back together, got my gas block. Let's put on the muzzle brake real quick. All right, this muzzle brake's pretty simple. There's no crush washer. It's actually a little, just a nut right here. Those threads on, and then I back it all the way up against the barrel. And then you thread your muzzle brake on as far as you can. Okay, now we're gonna back it off just to where it times perfectly. So that's all I'm gonna back it off, and then I'm gonna back the inward nut off up against the brake. Once it touches it, we're actually going to snug up that little nut against the muzzle brake, and that'll lock it in place. So something simple you can do is take an Allen wrench, slip it through your brake to stop it from rotating, and then just give it a little bump on the nut. It's not ever going to really want to rotate off, so it doesn't take a whole lot to hold these on. Now upon further inspection of this gas block, it was coming in contact with the bottom of the rail, so I figured my best option was to cut out the chunk of rail right there. So this piece of rail is actually mounted into Keymod slots back into the spot back here where I cut off the rail about right there. So the Keymod is securely mounted on there. However, the rail hangs out beyond where the screws go through for the Keymod. So this underhangs basically where there's no rail, but that's perfectly fine. It's mounted just as secure as it normally would be. I just had to remove the rail section so that the gas block would clear, because it was already hitting the bottom of the gas block, and I know that when the gun fires, the barrel's going to move down most likely, because the ports on my muzzle brake actually force gases up, so it's going to force the barrel down, and I can't have it touching or else I get inconsistencies, and that kind of makes a free float handguard useless if it's not free floated. So I just cut it out. It is what it is. Unfortunately, I didn't really want to do that, but I also want a free floated barrel. I will be getting a new brake for this soon, something that matches and makes it look better, but this will work for now. I can't wait to get it out to the range. This weekend I'm going to be taking it out. So that's it for now, guys. We'll catch you after the range. I'll let you know how it shoots and how everything goes. Thanks for watching. We'll talk to you later.